howlers.
Welcome, everybody, to Fade to Obsidian, your Red Rising podcast about spaceships, relationships, and death. So much death right now.
Some good deaths, some bad deaths.
Yeah, this one I feel like is a good death, but we'll get into it in a moment. So my name is Skipper, joined as always by Crescent, and joining us this time is Jen from Indie Art Box. Welcome!
Welcome
Thank
on
you.
for the first time.
Thanks for having me.
First time. So you get all our questions for our first timers. Who are you? How did you find the series? And what are you drinking? And you can answer those in any order.
Who am I? I am an enigma wrapped in whimsy, but
I love that.
no, I don't know. I am kind of an amateur artist, learning digital art, learning graphic design a little bit. Although I use Canva, so my husband calls me a graphic collage arranger more than a designer. Because I just kind of like take stock vectors and play with them until I like it. But anyway, so I'm kind of coming back to art after a long hiatus. Also coming back to reading after a long hiatus. I was following, I still do, the Dropbook Murphys, Jackie and Rob. They're this adorable couple, and she was filming his reactions to different books. And I kind of befriended her, and then she got into Red Rising, so she influenced me.
Nice.
Picked up the series and loved it. And yeah, that's how I got into it. She's actually writing her first novel at the moment, which I'm super excited about. Yeah, so she's the one that got me into it, and then I joined the Patreon, and then Carl invited me to the Howler's Den.
Yeah.
And
we love Carl.
So,
yeah.
We do love Carl.
And Carl speaks very highly of you, but he all the time is like,
That's
he
so
loves
kind.
you. So yeah.
He's gone so above and beyond for me as far as art goes. He is just so knowledgeable. And I'll be like, hey, this is my work in progress. He's like, fix this, fix that. And I'm like, at first I was like, oh, I suck. But then I prefer the criticism because it's like it pushes you to improve. And he is so knowledgeable, and he didn't have to do that at all. So yeah, shout out to Carl. He's definitely awesome.
Yeah, we love
We love
him.
our cat backpack.
Yes.
I love it. Awesome.
And as far as what I'm drinking, I've got a peach ale.
Ooh,
nice.
Sour and refreshing.
Yeah, nice.
Love a sour.
Crescent, what do you have? You have Radler again?
No, I do not. I have Rebellion Brewing Cerveza.
Ooh. Nice.
Yeah. It's apparently got lime and salt in it, so I'm excited.
That's cool.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I'm boring. I'm recovering from Beer Fest yesterday, so I have water. I went too hard last night, so we did our traditional, we have a thing in the Fade to Obsidian Patreon where I post what beers are there, and everyone gets to decide what beers I drink, and that just becomes troublesome. I did have, it was blueberry elderflower one.
Oh yeah, blueberry elderflower cider.
That was Crescent's choice. It was so good. So good. So
that sounds good.
Yeah.
We were at an ice cream place the other night, and they had a blueberry feta ice cream.
Ooh.
So good.
That's so interesting.
It was so different. It tasted like cheesecake, but it had that like funk to it. But yeah, the blueberry was really strong, so.
For the longest time, that was like my go-to snack was blueberries and feta. Like I would just cut up feta cheese, like little crumbles of it, and add it into blueberries. It's really good because it gets that salty with the with the sweet. It's a really good
of the blueberries. Yeah.
Yep. With raspberries is good as well. But yeah, there you go.
My husband is he was working on it earlier. He's got 2 batches of mead going.
Ooh.
It's his first time brewing it. So he's making a ginger and like tea.
That's fun.
tannins of the tea kind of like mellows it out or something. So I'm
Okay.
excited. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm,
Let us know how that goes. That'd be
Thanks.
interesting.
yeah.
Nice. All right. Well, we're going to do our little disclaimer here. This is obviously full spoilers for Morningstar, as we're talking a character who dies pretty much at the end of it. And it may be full spoilers. It will probably 100% be full
Yeah, let's be real.
spoilers for all of Lightbringer. So if you have not finished Lightbringer, go do that and come back to us and then give this episode a listen. But this
Welcome
week,
back.
welcome back now that you've done that. Yeah, that's great. This week we're talking Octavia, our like little warlord sovereign. Warlord doesn't even feel the correct
No.
term. She's so much
She's just like
more than that.
cold.
She's the puppet
cold.
master.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I do some Red Rising fan art. I had an idea for Octavia with like marionette hands.
Ooh, yes.
Ooh,
Yes, yes,
that sounds
yes.
awesome.
That would be so good. Yeah.
And then Lysander like this, you know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I can see that. That'd be amazing.
Yeah, that sounds
Really.
awesome.
Lysander and Aja and Atlas and whoever else.
Yeah. Yeah. That'd be
Yeah.
sweet.
Someday.
Yeah. We look forward to that. No rush though. We never
Oh.
like to rush artists or authors or anyone. Do it in your own time because that's when it's the best. But we look forward to seeing that one day.
Thank you.
So that'd be great. Yeah. On the note, you said Aja, and I am going to put that a little bit of a disclaimer here that we are recording in a different order than the originally intended. We had a little bit of scheduling situation arise. So this episode is coming out before. Yeah. Crescent was sick. Crescent's working overtime over here. We're not going to hold him too much for blame over there. But this episode will come out before Aja's death. They do kind of happen simultaneously, so it's not too much of a jump. But if you're listening to this one and you're like, where did Aja go? We'll cover her next week.
Yep.
To be fair, hilariously, I forget everything whenever I read these. I have that mind that's like, I know the plot points, but not how it happened. And when I was listening to this, or like listening through, I went, Octavia does die before Aja because her death is just so drawn out that it's like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
right. Aja dies in the middle of Octavia dying, essentially.
Yep.
So,
She just spends the whole
Like, how are you
time
still
bleeding
alive?
out.
yeah.
She's got that blue coagulated blood from all of her age rejuvenation.
Yeah. Gotta wax poetic before we die.
Yep.
Yeah.
Got that slow blood.
Yeah. Make sure that Lysander is truly traumatized by all of this, you know? Yeah. But before we jump into her actual death, let's talk Octavia. What are her thoughts of her as the Sovereign? You said before we started recording that you'd read it 6 times. Can you think back to the first time you read Red Rising? Any initial thoughts on Octavia the Sovereign?
I don't know. Inception is probably one of my favorite movies. And there's a lot of talk with like Virginia and Adrius about the mazes. And when Ariadne is kind of like having her audition to be the architect. And he's like, draw me this maze in a minute. That takes me 3 minutes for me to get through. And she keeps drawing a square maze and a square maze because it's a grid paper. And then finally he's like, nope, not good enough. Finally she flips the paper over to the blank and starts drawing a circle maze in this labyrinth, and he can't get out of it. So it's like she's got this labyrinthine kind of mind where she's thinking 10, 15, 100 steps ahead of everybody else.
Yeah.
And then later when you find out about the mind's eye, because you kind of have an inkling about the pandemonium chair, if I recall, in the first trilogy. But then when you find out later about the mind's eye and the pandemonium chair, she just gets like scary, this like mental giant of a woman.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Crescent, any thoughts? You remember? 26 times ago?
Not really, but like she's this monolith of,
Yeah.
oh, this person is just like terrible all around right from the get-go. Like you see her on the holocan like right away, and it's like, hmm, something vaguely unsettling about you.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then it turns out she's actually deeply unsettling.
Yeah.
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 She kind of gave me Effie Trinket vibes when they had the holocan.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
it's like, brave pioneers, your
Yes.
sacrifice and blah, blah,
Mm-hmm.
blah. It was like this, whatever, the capital, I think it was, in the Hunger Games, that kind of Effie Trinket, war propaganda. You're doing this for
Yeah.
harmony, you're doing it for liberty, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it was immediate Effie Trinket vibes for me.
I absolutely can see that. Well, and even there's a part that I think Darrow talks about watching her turn off and on. That kind of like the moment she's on the hollow and then like turns
Mm-hmm.
off and she just becomes this like the tyrant behind it of like
Mm,
who she lets see the different sides of her is always
Mm-hmm.
like she's such an interesting character for that she is so complex and as you say so intelligent and we discover things later
mm,
um about the mind's eye and a few other things from Lysander's point of view of what truly was happening and like puppet master is the perfect way of describing it that she truly thinks that she is controlling and in a lot of cases is like
mm.
Mm-hmm.
she's fascinating
And I
and
think, oh, sorry.
no go on go
I was going to say, I think she uses a lot of emotional manipulation
mm-hmm
too to inspire loyalty to her because, like Kalendora goes into it, how they were all a family, and, Lysander considered Aja and Atalantia and Moira and Kalendora, even though they weren't related, he considered them his aunts. And
yeah
it was like, we're all one big family, and, we do anything for family. And it's like that emotional kind of, she puts the screws to him to get them to do what she wants.
yeah
Mm-hmm.
yeah and taking Mustang under her wing and like even the way she talks to Cassius give like oh my dear
Yeah.
boy right
Mhm.
like thank you at the end when it's Cassius has brought back Darrow and all this oh yes of course right like of course you would do this to me whenever
Mhm.
I hear Taylor Swift's father figure that's I always think of Octavia and Mustang of that like I can make deals with the devil because my dick's bigger and like I will take you under my wing and I will do all of this. And then, of course, the flip at the very end, it's like, oh no, the prodigy is actually the stronger one. And that's always,
Mhm.
I was listening to it today and I was like, oh, this is 100% Octavia and Mustang. But I feel like she's like that with everybody of like, don't worry, I will give you the guidance to, so
Yeah.
you won't become anyone unless it's with me.
Mhm.
Right. Like,
And Virginia kind of alludes to having the same ability where she can kind of like pinpoint the emotional pressure points to put on people. And she does that with Cassius. She's like, he was a walking wound. I knew exactly how to ensnare him.
yeah.
I knew exactly what he needed. And that's the same thing with Octavia. They're so similar. It's in those ways, it's crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. And I also like you see it especially with Lysander and how isolated that she made Lysander, right? And he believes that he's got I mean, Aja clearly is there and he got to spend time with other people. We know that Mustang was a little bit around and Cassius was a little bit around, but it's like she very much like isolated him or
Mhm.
else like his other grandparent we talk about all the time is Lorne. You would think that she'd be like, oh, Lorne is an incredible role model, but no, 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 because who knows what that could be feeding. So we're gonna
Yeah.
isolate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And
can't let anybody else's ideas influence him.
yeah, exactly, which is interesting.
It's the same as what she does after the forget the name of it because I know the Dark Rebellion was the Obsidians, but the Moon Rebellion. Then she starts taking their children as hostages and raising them under her wing so that they'll be loyal to her. It's like she's doing the, inspiring loyalty for the next generation.
Yeah.
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 Which she definitely does with Atlas.
I was about to say, I always forget that Atlas is in fact Rim. Because he's raised in the core and has all the links to the core, Lysander's parents and all of that, that you genuinely are like, oh, right. He is Diomedes' uncle. Like, I forget that link all the time.
You forget he's a Ra completely.
Yeah. Yeah. She's just taken that from him. Yeah. Yeah. And the use of information against certain people and others, like, we see that how she's twisting the Bologna deaths and all of that until Cassius is like, no, I'm fully aware that you killed you are responsible for the deaths of my family members. And there's so much that she thinks she can hide and for the most part can because she is the most powerful person in the solar system.
Yeah.
But
in Dark Age, we hear the term rational transaction when they pick up Orion, and she's been in Atlas's tender care for however long, many weeks. And then Atlas kind of says the same thing, it's a rational transaction. We instill fear on some to control everyone. And it was the same logic that she applies when she torched Rhea. What did she say? Like 8 million lives for 8 billion or something?
Yeah.
Something like that. So, yeah, she's very much about, she doesn't mind making sacrifices to preserve order in the larger scope.
Yep, absolutely. Crazy. And then it all kind of backfires on her because at the end of the day, she doesn't truly have anyone loyal except for Aja. And it becomes almost easy to infiltrate because she's already being, at the end, manipulated by the jackal, we discover. But just so easily is like, of course Cassius would just waltz back in here. Of course he would choose his golds over anybody else. And it's so fun that first time you read it because I think everyone is genuinely scared. You think Severo's dead. You think Cassius has flipped again. And that's the perspective she has of why would anyone betray her? Like she's somewhat not like she doesn't trust anybody, but at the same time, I think thinks that she is wiser than she truly is and doesn't have that foresight that someone like Mustang or Cassius, the golds that are, there is a better thing out there because for her, she is the end all be all. Why betray? Yeah.
And that flaw kept her blind to Fitchner all those years.
That's right.
So it's kind of a good thing that she was that haughty and didn't think that anyone in her, that she trusted her own judgment of people so much that she thought that she could read anybody. She had the oracles, of course.
Yes.
But Fitchner, he didn't take it. And he was very smart to do that. But she thought she could know anyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of comes back to bite her.
Yep, absolutely. Well, and then interestingly, on that topic, and we'll talk a lot about her influence on Lysander, I think Lysander almost has some of the same things of no, I know how people are reacting and gets themselves in situations. No, you actually are very unaware of how most of the world works.
Yeah, you are so out of your depth right now.
Yeah. But he was just raised in that same mindset of no, I can read people, I can manipulate and control. And it's well, you might have been able to do that when you're 10 years old, but she didn't fully get to raise you to be exactly who she wanted because her time was quote unquote cut short, even though isn't she over 100?
Yeah.
And we know
she's
she's
160.
Yeah. Just crazy.
And still young.
Still young.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder how far they can push that. Like, could she have
I don't
lived
know.
to be like 1,000? What was her contingency plan here?
I think
Cloning.
she wouldn't have chosen a protege
Mm-hmm.
if she hadn't, because she has Lysander's mother and father assassinated,
Yeah.
and
Mm-hmm.
even like she lets Lorne and all of his grandchildren live, even knowing that they are kind of their loyalty is not absolute. But it's almost like she knew her daughter was wavering, was a reformer, but she wanted Lysander as her protege. So I kind of feel like she eliminated them so that she had absolute control over him. And then, uh, yeah, I kind of lost my train of thought. I'm so tired.
It's all
Sorry.
good. It's all good. Yeah, it's just interesting to me so we know she's 160 and it's like, well, at what point was Lysander to take over?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like she clearly is raising him to that. So okay, do you let him live to be 50 and then you just kind of like, okay, like my time is done, hand off to the
Mm-hmm.
next, or is he just the backup plan in case of assassination or something else? Like it's just
It could
interesting.
it could be like that logic, like when a Sith has a protege. I'm a big Star Wars nerd, but
Yeah.
they raise up a protege, and then it's like the protege kills the master, and that's like the ultimate test: is can you kill your master? So maybe she was
Yeah.
expecting Lysander to knock her off one day.
Well, because she
I
killed
mean, she
her
did the
dad,
same thing
right?
to her father. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
cut the.
So,
And Lysander technically does do something similar at the end of Lightbringer. He cuts all the strings that are binding him. You know,
yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
all these people, these father figures, these family that he grew up with. He kills all of them.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even make that connection. But yeah, that is a
Mm-hmm.
great mirror and call out there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, she has to be beheaded, and that is one of the reasons that people start following Mustang is like Mustang's just
Mm-hmm.
standing
Yeah.
there holding the head, being like, this makes me ruler. Like, I win, which is
Yep.
a crazy, crazy move.
Yeah. And Lysander having to legitimize her role.
Yeah.
Because at first you think, okay, maybe he's going to understand that this is something better. But then in the future, you understand that he felt like he was backed into a corner, that he wouldn't
Yeah.
have been allowed to live. Probably he wouldn't have.
Probably. I mean, in
Mm-hmm.
theory, they didn't want him to live either
Yeah.
way. He
Mm-hmm.
got lucky that Cassius said, like, no, no, I'll take care of him,
Mm-hmm.
um, for better or worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
For both of them.
for
I think
both
it's
of them, for
interesting in
worse.
that whole scene when Octavia goes on her rant, her pre-death rant about like who broke the worlds. You'll see,
Yeah.
they'll say it was you. And I was telling you earlier, I had some Hamilton lyrics that was like
Oh,
so
yeah.
perfect. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so the whole of the Hamilton musical, if you watch it in the context of Red Rising, it all fits so perfectly. But there's this one where King George comes out and he goes, "So what comes next? You've been freed. Do you know how hard it is to lead? You're on your own. Awesome. Wow. Do you have a clue what happens now? Oceans rise, empires fall. It's much harder when it's all your call. All alone across the sea. When your people say they hate you, don't come crawling back to me." And it's just like,
That
oh,
is a
it's so perfect.
that
Yeah.
is great.
That is amazing. I love that.
I see King George as Octavia.
Yeah. I mean, that's a good
I'm just
call out.
seeing Octavia now. Awesome. Wow.
Wow, yeah. Maybe if they do a TV adaptation, they can get Jonathan Goff to play
Oh
Octavia.
my
Oh
god,
my
that'd be
gosh.
amazing.
That would be so
He
funny.
would absolutely
That'd be like,
destroy that role in such a good way.
yeah, I'm just imagining like um a parody show of Red Rising
Yes.
where that's the case.
Yeah.
That'd be really funny.
That'd be hilarious. But it is a good, comparison
Mm-hmm.
of what happens.
Mm-hmm.
And this is why I always like the second trilogy in that Pierce pushed it. Of like, okay, Morningstar happens, and that's where most dystopian books of like, yay, we broke it, but we now actually get to see, okay, how do Mustang and Darrow continue on and actually lift this up, and that the United States breaking away from Britain, it's like, okay, good luck.
What do you do
Do
now?
you
Yeah.
actually have a plan here?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and how do we move forward? So always really interesting on that. And yeah, Octavia kind of claims it of like, well, and Laura, I think it's Lauren earlier too, says like somebody always has to be the leader.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're going to put one tyrant on over another. And so then it becomes, okay, well, we have to reverse everything that Octavia has done. What can Mustang do differently and better to not become that tyrant? And
yeah, the guys at Sons of Ares were kind enough to have me on a couple of weeks ago, and we talked about the chapter where Darrow goes home to see his mom, and she brings it up. She's like, well, what are you going to do? You know, what happens when you bring all these Reds out of the mines? Have you even thought about it? And Darrow's like, yeah, I've thought about it. And she's like, well, what are you going to do? He's like, we'll figure it out. It's going to take so many people to figure it out. And he's got that confidence of a young person.
Yeah.
And but Deanna totally called it. She was like, no, you'll see. You'll see. It's going to be a mess.
Yeah. And it does. It becomes that.
Yeah. Narrator. It was, in fact, a mess.
Yeah.
And I do like that, what you brought up about how a lot of series would just stop at the victory. But no, he pushes on and shows what happens afterwards and the nitty gritty stuff of figuring out a new empire.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is, great. And still continues to struggle. Lightbringer, we're still seeing that back and forth. And obviously, the overthrown are always going to attempt to come back and believe that their way was better. And it's always nice to see that back and forth and how that all continues to play out, because it is how reality is. So
yeah,
absolutely. I was gonna say, should we get into her influence on Lysander? We kind of already have, but we know from the we get more and more stories in that second half of him being raised and the use of the mind's eye, which we've had discussions with a few people on here about the mind's eye is not actually named in the first trilogy, but you get these suspicions. And like when I was listening to the fight with Aja, it's like she knows where everybody in the room is and what their moves are going to be. And it's like, how would she know that? But it's through Lysander's perspective that we know of, like, oh yeah, she was full training him. And some of the like kind of sad stories he tells about like how far he was pushed. Yeah,
running down the steps and with his eyes closed and breaking his arm. Like, oh my god.
Yeah.
It's like some
sounds awful.
It's like the Bene Gesserit like origin story where you kind of map the consciousness and then, the nerves and synapses to such a degree that you can control physicality. It's kind of like the beginning of that, the mind's eye. That's what I feel like.
Yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, and Lysander kind of being put on this pedestal above Ajax and everybody else, because it's like, well, you are supposed to be the most perfect gold and you are being raised in this capacity, which is interesting. Do we know how his parents met? Like, was that arranged for, like, it feels just Octavia and Lauren's kids coming together to me feels like that is Octavia going, how do we create the most perfect gold child? Do we know how they, or are they truly just like love?
I think they're actually like a loving pair.
Yeah. And met
That's
through.
interesting.
Yeah.
You don't know a
They're,
lot about them.
we know so little about them, yeah.
Yeah.
We know they died in an air car tragedy.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting that Octavia almost shows her hand when she's got, I think she's got Darrow with the Oracle, and she says something like, "Did I apologize to Lysander when his parents were killed in a shuttle accident?" She doesn't necessarily take ownership of that, but she still says, "Did I apologize to him?" So it's kind of like she hints at the fact that she had it done. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of my take on it.
Yeah. I mean, that would make sense of. I don't know. I feel like she knows that most people probably suspect it, but who knows why.
Mm-hmm.
But it's
Yeah.
that.
Rumors are very in vogue in Gold Society.
Yeah. But, she's not going to let Lysander know because that's going to give him reason to dislike her.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a couple other characters that it's like, does Atlas fully know? It would make sense, right? Like,
It
do
would.
we know what's right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, but
because Aja, who all did it? Was it Kalendora, Atalantia, and Aja that did it?
Mm-hmm.
Can't remember.
yeah,
Yeah.
It makes sense that he knew.
Yeah, someone's getting drunk one night and telling Dear Atlas over there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because then I
What is it
always
with
forget.
her?
Sorry, what were you
Go
saying?
ahead.
I was gonna say I always forget that Atlas and Aja are Ajax's parents. Again, like
Yeah.
Atlas all the time. I'm like, how are you tied into all of this? And I'm like, right, you and Aja. But we know for sure that's one that's like a manipulated. Like there was no true love
Oh
there.
yeah.
It was like
Just a loveless genetic pairing. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, which is why I wonder about Lysander's parents. It's like, were you also that happened to fall in love? Like, what happened here? But yeah, Atlas all the time. I'm like, oh yeah, you're like connected to everybody, and in my mind, nobody.
Mm-hmm.
He's just out in his own doing things.
He's just the little spider in the center of the web.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
If she's the marionette S, is that a word? He's the strings, like he's the spider web itself.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Atlas is a scary dude.
He is.
Mm-hmm.
I love the scene when they're with the 200 and Atalantia's making her proposal. And he's just like sitting up in the rafters.
Yeah.
Saying it out. Yeah. And I don't know why, but I always picture that to be open air. I don't know if it is.
Me
Is
too.
it? Yeah,
I picture it that way.
And he's just sitting there,
his legs swinging.
Legs, yeah. Just getting the view in. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's such an enigma.
He's fascinating to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and his use, as we say, of Octavia is basically holding him hostage from a young age, and unlike some of the other Rim kids, clearly went back. He didn't, though. He ends up like expelled and everything, wasn't he? Like, didn't Octavia send him away?
Yeah, she sent him out to the Kuiper Belt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But then with this impossible task, but then he did it and came back. So she kind of welcomed him back.
Yeah.
Because he had the Escamani, Far Ink obsidians under his thumb. She saw him as a weapon again.
Yep. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, but he adopts her mindset so fully, especially in Dark Age, with like the forests that he makes, and just how he truly believes that they are fully necessary in order to stop further uprisings.
Yep.
And like he almost expresses distaste for it, even though he's the one doing it, but he has to like be the mask, the fear. It's so perfect for him.
Yeah. Yeah, he's interesting.
Yeah, he doesn't.
Sorry, go.
He doesn't relish doing it, but he's willing to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, he's like a little pit bull for everybody. That little dog that has to accomplish. But it's always so funny to me, again, of like, she would have hated how he was treating the Obsidians, of like, when him and Fa are like having a grand old time. Like, she would have thought that was disgusting. Like, you're not, what do you mean you're just casually socializing with the Obsidians? And he's having a grand old time with it. He's created the exact society he wants within his little group.
Yeah.
But yeah, she'd be like, no, you can't be treating the Obsidians this way. They're below us. Everybody's below us. So, yeah.
Obsidians are at almost the bottom of the pyramid.
Yeah.
They were very low color.
Yep. Absolutely. Yep. And being manipulated through like religion. Like, I always find that so fascinating, of the Reds and the Obsidians. It's like, the lower you get on there, we can use old school traditions in order to hold you captive, right? Let's bring in the patriarchy. Let's bring in the old myths and legends and religion and all of this, and fear mongering of scare you.
But I think with the Obsidians, like, they're such a strong color that they had to go all out.
Oh yeah.
Like, oh yeah, we're like making lightning storms. We carved all these fancy creatures, and we've got the gods on Olympus or Asgard, and
yeah.
Just to try and keep them in check. And where the Reds, they're just like, yeah, there's a Reaper in the Veil.
It's fine. Just abide by the
it's just like some
patriarchy
drunk
and you'll be
uncle
fine.
talking about this Reaper in the Veil.
Yeah.
I think just because their physicality is one of the only ones that can match a gold.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
100%.
Yeah.
So they keep them uneducated. They keep them controlled with fear of the golds. Deifying the golds.
Yep.
Makes total sense.
Absolutely. Take the strongest ones, make it this whole, the stained, as, oh, well, now you get to go work for the golds, and that's the honor, rather than, trying to, make them feel special almost, if you get to go do these things. You get to use pinks, right? We learned that Ragnar had like pinks, like all of that, and you can just use them in that capacity, which is interesting. Yeah. I was just thinking, you mentioned the Reaper. It's doesn't during Octavia, is it Octavia's death that Darrow brings up the Reaper and says, like, my people have a Reaper, it is not me, but you will see them. I thought it's somewhere in those last few chapters.
I think you're
right. It probably
might be
is.
Aja's.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think Aja gets nearly as much fanfare.
No.
To her death. Just nighty-night, Grimace, and then...
Yeah.
But I think he does give her a little speech.
Yeah. Because it's somewhere in those last, because I just listened to it within the last couple days of the... Oh yeah, and her last words. I'm like looking at my actual notes that I did take. Her last notes being, you must stop, Adrius. But...
Yeah, he will judge the wicked from the good. His name is the Reaper. I am not him, I'm just a man, but soon you will meet him. Soon he will judge you for all the sins you hold.
Yeah, I just like that.
That is to Octavia.
It is to Octavia. Yeah, him using it back of like, hey, you golds have like told this to me, I'm gonna instill it back to you. And it is interesting of like, Darrow through all of this has never lost his like belief in the Veil. It's not like he came out in the same way that the Obsidians, it's like, oh, we've disproven the gods. They're not real. We disproven them. And he's seeing all that, but he still truly believes in his Veil. He truly believes in the Reaper. And that's always...
Eventually, he talks about how he isn't sure he believes anymore.
Mm.
I think it's in Dark Age.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think, yeah, because then he gets the path to the veil and kind of like has that spiritual reawakening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a whole thing about this, how, I know it's completely off topic, but how Ari and Darrow are the same because they are both low colors. They're both deep cover agents. And, you know, Darrow had his body carved so that he had physical strength to protect him. But Ari did not. You know, she had this other self inside, just like Darrow did. You know, in the whole series, he's just like totally conflicted. But yeah, I feel like Ari is the one who could bring him back to that spiritual side of himself because she was able to keep her own faith through it all. Yeah. But yeah, like I said, wildly off topic.
No, we're here.
We love a tangent.
We love a good tangent. But yeah, very interesting of, as you say, of how they work through, and probably why they get along so well on the Archimedes. We don't get too many Darrow Ari moments, but they definitely deeply respect each other. And always interesting in that. And then Ari is essentially, everybody hopes, we don't have confirmation, and I don't like theorizing about Red God, but in theory, Diomedes should become the Mustang of the Rim, and then Ari is the Darrow, whereas you have the lower color in love with the gold, and then holding them in that balance of this is our path forward is, you know, you can still have that gold leader, but with the guidance of their true love, who happens to be a low color.
I love that. I ship them so hard.
So hard. And I feel like we're fed enough in Lightbringer.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
like it's not,
100%.
We're not pulling at, oh, yeah, well, maybe they had one scene together. It's like, no, come on.
Yeah, it's not Tactus and Rogue.
Yeah. Where it's like, who knows? Nobody knows. But them, it's like, yeah.
And knowing Pierce Brown's writing, they're either gonna get married or she's gonna die horribly, and it's gonna
maybe both.
Nothing in between.
Thanks for that. Yeah.
I mean,
you're welcome.
I'm just trying to set expectations, so I'm not, you know.
I'm going into Red God that everybody dies. I'll turn out way happier if we discover they don't all die. So
last I had heard, he was at least two hat deaths.
Yeah.
Last I heard, so there's a lot of death.
Yeah. We'll see how that goes. I was gonna say, talk about death. Back to Octavia. I love these tangents, but it proves, I think, how much effect Octavia has on this. That everybody is in one way or another, and especially the Atlases, the Lysander, Aja, but she kind of dies. Atalantia, we didn't even talk about, and technically, it's always interesting to me. Atalantia is the third Fury that is over there, and then out of nowhere, it's we need a villain for the second half. Let's get Atalantia.
Who's literally not named in the first trilogy.
Is she not? She's just the other sister.
Yeah.
We just know there's another sister. That's funny.
Yep.
Yeah.
Is she the middle child? Or is she the youngest one?
She's got to be the youngest. She feels like such young.
I don't know if it's mentioned who is the oldest and who's the youngest, but she does kind of read like a youngest.
Acting out for attention.
100%.
Yeah, just off doing her shit. And...
No offense to youngest kids, but
I am one. I 100% see it. Yeah.
I'm the oldest. I definitely feel
Me
like Aja is the oldest.
Yeah. And then Moira's the forgotten middle. Moira's
child.
over here being like, oh yeah, I do some things sometimes.
Moira was on the page for half a page or something.
Yeah, total. I can't remember if she has any speaking lines. Yeah. But if she does, it's less than 5.
Yeah. And she dies in Morningstar, right? Or did she die?
She does, yeah.
So
We'll talk about her in the
with
chaff.
Harvest. Yeah, with Harvest. You do not get an
Yeah,
episode, Moira.
she dies in Quicksilver's
That's right.
room.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, the Furies are as interesting. And yeah, Atalantia coming forward out of kind of nowhere. But then having all this backstory and being able to connect with Lysander in some terrible ways and in others, it's interesting for him to have someone finally around that he knows because he's been so removed. I feel like I've been abusing the word isolated this episode. I'm like, everybody is isolated, but Lysander was isolated as a kid, and then Cassius isolates him for the sole thing of they have nowhere to go. So what else are you going to do but wander the solar system? But the connection to Atlantia then is a bizarre, you know, what
So
do we call
weird.
her? So weird. Anti-Lantia is what?
Anti-Lantia.
Oh, gross.
Anti-Lantia.
I mean, yeah.
At least with Lysander, it's only an emotional ant. Ajax,
Right.
that's just
Yeah.
fucking weird.
Yeah, that's horrible.
Yeah. Like, both
Thanks
are
for
The
that,
bad.
fact that
Pierce.
Lysander does mention that, like, she did have trysts with him when he was a teenager. So, like, it definitely was. The whole thing is inappropriate, but it's, like, extra so.
Yeah. It's grooming, like, 101 is what both of those are. But especially Ajax for so long, and then how she uses Lysander kind of against Ajax, and that's why they don't get along. It's because they both want her attention and like the feel like, and also poor Ajax all around. I can't wait for that episode in which I'm just sitting here being an Ajax sympathizer. That I'm like, the poor guy.
Yeah.
I mean, he spent his
abusing
whole
him.
life being abused. Yeah.
His dad hates him pretty much. His dad's like, yeah, you.
His dad just doesn't care. He's just like, oh, you exist. Okay.
Yeah.
How unfortunate.
Yeah. But Octavia and how she needed to control all of these things, and it ended up so badly for so many people. But I don't even think they fully realized that it would have been her doing things behind the scenes. Like, they kind of know, but it's like, oh, she's almost excused in comparison to other people being held accountable. Because it's like, oh no. In theory, they should have been able to make their own decisions, but I don't think you really could around her, or else she'll blow up your ship. Like,
yeah. I think that's kind of her tactic too. She kind of turns everybody against each other. She'll whisper in the ear and sow discord and tensions between each other. And so they're all pointing at each other, and she's the one you can trust. She's the mother figure. She's the safe place. You know, they work together, but they all mistrust each other for whatever reason.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think the interesting parallel to that from Octavia's own life, it talks about how when she was a young girl, she's in an air car and she literally throws diamonds out into the slums. So all of these people are, oh my God, this all came from up there. And now they're all at each other.
Yeah.
Started early.
Yeah.
She probably was like, I wonder if this will work, and tried it out.
Yeah, I wonder what this will do.
Yeah. But that's it. She must have done so much psychological research into some of the things. Like, especially in the mind's eye, we know that there's a lot happening there. But to be that level of manipulative, you have to do the research of what experiments and testing and treatment is going to get the outcome you want. And 160 years, she's got a lot of practice to it. But I would love to know if she just sometimes sits there reading like psychological journals of like, what is the best way to get people to react in one way or the other.
I think it's significant that Mustang follows in her footsteps in that way.
Yep.
And she becomes just as adept with her psycho spikes.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting, that whole scene where she goes up in the what is the citadel called? The Citadel of Light, and it's in the ocular at the
Mm-hmm.
forget.
Mhm.
She's like, nobody can understand what it's like to be a sovereign unless you're the sovereign. So I understand Octavia, but then she kind of follows in her footsteps in a lot of ways.
Yep.
The only, Mustang is definitely capable of doing all of the things that Octavia did, but she's got a moral compass.
Yes. Yeah.
And chooses not to do that.
Yeah. And Mustang 100% knows that she could at any moment flip.
Mm-hmm.
We actually this afternoon were recording about Adrius's death with the wonderful Jenna Sharp, and
cool.
Yeah,
That's so cool.
We had Mustang on. She'll be talking about her twin. That episode will come out 2 weeks after this one. But we were discussing where Mustang says if Holiday knew the dark things that are in my head, like she'd put me down essentially. And so I think Mustang is aware of that. And Octavia probably is, for the most part, aware that what she's doing isn't necessarily right, but I don't think she cares. Like,
it's all for the greater good.
Yeah, well, exactly. Her village will have the best goddamn garden.
Yeah.
Hot Fuzz reference for everybody.
The quote that she says as they're walking into the Dragon's Maw. She's like, I don't care about the civilian casualties. Will the sea ever run out of salt or something like that?
Yes.
So she's like, even all of this is renewable resources. Even these people that just, jack up the pheromones and they'll breed back to the numbers,
Yeah.
So it's just like she views everything as a renewable resource.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I don't think she regrets the burning of Rhea, unlike the Ash Lord we know does. And Lysander says of, call my godfather, he does not want another Rhea. As much as she didn't want Luna completely destroyed, I think that's for her own personal reason of when the bombs start going off. It's like, yeah, clearly they've been there and you've been held hostage by all of them, but that was more a self-preservation rather than her actually caring what 3 million people just died in whatever village. Like,
yeah, she would be a ruler of ash.
Yeah. Yep.
If not for the bombs.
Yeah. So, yeah, she's such an interesting character, as we said. Probably one of the most intelligent in the whole series, which is why she sees so much of Mustang in herself. It clearly takes a certain person to do that role. And all politicians, for the most part, it is it's a very interesting role to have to be a leader, and to that degree, and with that many people. But you can obviously be a caring, empathetic leader, as we then see with Mustang, who's grounded enough and has the telemanus and all of that. I don't think Octavia ever had anyone she truly loved. Like, even her husband, I don't think she would have truly loved. It was probably just whoever the best matches. Do we know anything about her husband?
No. I don't think so. She does have those sociopathic tendencies, for sure.
Oh, yes.
So it's like,
I don't even know. I don't know if you could even call them tendencies. I think we're all the way there.
I was trying to be diplomatic. But yeah. I think she knows what love is and how it can be used to manipulate, but I don't think she feels real love.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, and again, all the tools in her belt. These people are just tools. Yeah.
I think she views herself as a complete necessity, though. Like, even the good and the bad. And there's a quote in Dark Age where Darrow says, humanity is in a box with a lid, and I'm the lid, and inside the box is this. And it's just the horrible things that humanity is capable of. I feel like Octavia feels like she's the lid on the box.
Yep.
And that if you take that away and you don't have a sufficient enough box to cage the base urges of humanity, it's just going to be chaos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I like that. Yeah. Just I don't know. I don't even know. I feel like we could talk about her forever because every single aspect, especially of the later books, we see the direct. Well, all of the books, I would say, we see the direct link to her. We wouldn't be in this situation if her and Nero aren't here killing Io and like causing Darrow to go to the Institute and that whole like that's also a fascinating that like oh yeah let's just kill our own people like it's all of Gold Society is interesting but Octavia definitely has such a hand in it.
And Darrow's able to pit them against each other because of Octavia's scheming between the Augustans and the Bologna.
Yeah.
He's able to kind of slip in between that process and create the civil war that he needed.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It's because he was able to slip in her blind spot. Like, no one would ever betray me, just like you guys said.
Yeah.
She's fascinating.
She is. Crescent, do you want to do some numbers? You want to play the number game?
Oh, we didn't do numbers this time.
We forgot to do numbers for the Jackal. People will call us out in 2 weeks for that one. But I feel like we could do Jackal numbers with Harvest. So what we're going to do is Crescent's going to tell us the number of times the name Octavia is said in each book. And this will actually be a good, sometimes they die mid-book and you're like, is this like them being alive or them? But this is, she dies so close to the end of Morningstar. We pretty much have a clean cut here. So I suspect, can I put in some bets here?
Some guesses, yeah.
Very low numbers in Red Rising. Very low. Higher in Golden Sun than Morningstar. Then I'm going to say higher in Dark Age than the other three. Those are my guesses.
Okay. We got 10 for Red Rising.
Okay.
Mm. 31 in Golden Sun.
Interesting. I genuinely thought that would be higher because you'd got attributed dialogue more there. But also, she's probably called the Sovereign a whole bunch. Yeah.
Or just she, because it's like Darrow and her.
Yeah.
Back and forth.
Okay.
In Morningstar, we have 42.
Oh, so higher in Morningstar than Golden Sun. Okay.
And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, that you have to remove from Iron Gold.
No.
Oh.
I did that already.
Okay.
Yeah, four before her death, or 4 after her death.
4 after her death. Yeah, I mean, again, it's so quick to the end that it would just kind of be the negotiations of. No wonder. I think a lot of when they realize of what Adrius is doing, it's like, well, is it? And her last words being "Stop, Adrius," but then it's okay. Why is she able to hold him hostage? Yeah. All right. So 4 after death. What are we looking for? Iron Gold.
It's 7. I had to amend.
Oh, 7 after. Okay.
Yeah. Why? We've got 18 in iron gold.
Okay. It'd be interesting, though, and I know it's hard to search, of how many times Lysander, because I don't think Lysander would necessarily say Octavia when he's thinking. That probably my grandmother would
Mhm.
maybe boost that. Of my grandmother. Yep.
74 in Dark Age.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's that's more than
And
Morningstar.
wow, oh my god. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 12 in chapter 90.
What
When he's
happens in
talking
chapter
to
90?
when he's talking to Kalendora.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Yeah.
Yep. That makes a lot of sense. I think a lot of backstory is kind of revealed in Dark Age. But yeah, that is, I think, Golden Sun and Morningstar combined. And she
Yep.
would have had dialogue and been in the room. That then equals
Yeah, but
Dark
like
Age.
yeah, other than the Oracle scene
Yeah.
and the Crescent Vault, or the Dragon's Maw, I guess.
Yeah.
She's like not really around. You
Yeah.
get the ship as she's trying to escape Aegea after the Iron Rain.
Yep. Interesting. But yeah, that's huge for Dark Age. But I
Yeah.
guess it is. It's
Yeah.
everybody kind of reflecting. Mustang has her moments of reflecting. Lysander and
Yeah.
Atalante are going to have their moments of reflecting. Like, you're going to.
Yeah.
Wow. All right.
Yeah. And then 31 in Lightbringer.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that.
I found something interesting. Speaking of numbers,
Yeah.
so the name Octavia, easily can figure it out. It just means eighth.
Yeah.
So I wonder if she's like the eighth generation of Lunes.
Ooh.
You know what I mean? Like the eighth born successor.
Interesting. Yeah. Absolutely
Because I mean,
possible.
it's what 750 years since Selenius.
Yep.
So that would make about sense if they lived to be 100-ish.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just a thought.
Fascinating.
I love any name meanings.
Yeah.
I just love that intentionality.
Pierce, is that a reference? We'll have to ask Pierce. Is she? Because he loves numbers too, and everything always kind of gets back to certain things with certain names. So that would be fascinating. Because Selenius is first, right? So then, I don't know.
Selenius means moon.
Oh, his name is Moon Moon?
I think so. Let me. Selene means moon.
Moon, oh, moon.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. I'm sorry. Shoot, maybe I. Yeah, pay no attention to me.
No.
I know the name, like, Selena, like Selena Sarathian, that means
Moon. Yeah.
moon.
No, I'm going with the headcanon now that his name is Moon Moon.
Okay, never mind. Selenius is a prominent figure in Greek mythology. Okay. Yep. Disregard. My bad.
No. I'm spreading the rumor that it's Moon Moon. It's right up there with, there's the Harry Potter character. Oh my god, I forgot his name. Moony. And he's Moon Moon. Lupus. Lupin?
Maybe that's
Lupin.
why I thought it. Maybe that's why I thought
it's never
it,
lupus.
I knew like the word Selene was moon. So
yeah,
maybe that's,
it's close. Yeah. Who knows? Yeah, but yeah, Octavia is an interesting one.
Mm-hmm.
And then, do we know her daughter's name? Do we even?
Whose daughter?
Yes,
sorry?
they do say it.
Octavia's daughter, Lysander's mom.
Oh,
Kalendora must say it.
Anastasia.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anastasia and Brutus.
Yeah.
Brutus. Aw, poor Brutus. Yeah. Interesting. All right. Well, any other comments, thoughts on Octavia, our dear sovereign?
Brittany
Rip in
has,
pieces.
oh yeah, literally.
Yeah.
Brittany vote. I think you.
Yeah.
She
Vote
has the
painting.
most brilliant painting of Octavia and Lysander, and the way that she's holding his shoulders, but it's almost like her nails are like curving in, like she's got her claws in them.
Ooh.
Oh, it's so good. Yeah, if you haven't seen that one, definitely check it out.
Yeah.
It's
I'll
so,
ask
so
for
good.
permission, which normally she's been on
Be
here,
like-
so please, yeah, and it'll
Yeah.
appear here if you are
Brittany's
watching.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
so brilliant.
Well, and that imagery of, like, oh, don't we care about you? And then the claws being like, it's like, well, no, he's being manipulated the whole time. Like, Lysander has never had an original thought in his whole mind. He thinks he does, but he's just at all times under the care of somebody else.
I'll be interested to see in Red God to what extent he is programmed, because we know she put him in the chair. And she raised him to be her successor. She taught him the mind's eye. So what degree is his thinking even his own? Or is it just her? You know? Because there's this thing that Pytha says when the Vindabona, like, she's like, after this isn't you. After the Vindabona, it's like a switch was flipped and you aren't the same. I mean, that could be true. There could have been some kind of like sleeper agent program in his brain that once he passes into Rim territory, it flips on so that he obeys her orders. Who knows?
Or who knows what, sentence that Atlas or Kalendora or one of them knows to say that kind of flips it, right? Like, who knows if any of them are so entwined or accidentally did it that it flips. Because doesn't he suddenly have a memory of the playing of the piano? Isn't that one that he's like, oh shit, like, where did this come from?
Gaia.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so where did this come from?
If I ever cosplay anyone, it's going to be Gaia, the desiccated Harridan.
I love Gaia. Yeah.
Yeah, she's so. I just love all of the descriptive words in that whole chapter.
Yeah.
And when she
she's
strikes
so
the match on her heel calluses.
Like, yeah.
Where did you even come up with that? So gross.
So funny.
Pierce was in a weird corner of the internet that day.
Yeah. Yeah. Or he's on some camping trip going, how do I light this? Oh.
Yeah. So I am very interested to see what if anything is him being programmed by the chair.
Yeah. I don't think we've seen his full powers, so to speak. Even in the mind's eye, like, he doesn't really use it all that much because he had it when he was a kid. That we'll see how that. We know that Aja was probably the best Razor Master, and she used it. And so, what does that look like? Yeah.
Yeah. So we know he knows the Willow Way, but he's not confident enough to use it.
Yeah.
In a fair fight against anyone. But I think that knowledge is in there, plus the mind's eye. Yeah. So he might have been light resistance in Dark Age, but I think he'll come into his own.
Yeah.
No, we haven't seen his final form.
No.
No, his final form is going to be a puddle of goo.
Hopefully.
Yep.
I think we'd all go after Pierce if he survives. We're going to be like, Pierce, no. That was the one person you had to kill. The one. Atalantia, don't even care. Yeah. Yeah.
The only acceptable way for him to not die would be what Quicksilver did to that gold.
Yep.
Stick him in a life support coffin and shoot him into orbit.
That'd be a pretty good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I have a friend who just finished Lightbringer today, and she just she was like, "No."
She'll be going through it, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I'm here if you need me. It's okay.
Yep. Just talk it out.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah,
We're all
I don't
trauma
know.
bonded at this point.
Oh,
Yes.
100%. I know. All the trauma, especially from Dark Age, but Lightbringer's got that. It's funny. I didn't even like Cassius, and suddenly I'm like, oh fuck, now I like him, and you had to kill him because that's what Pierce does.
Yeah.
He makes you have this moving
Yep.
moment and then kills him off. Yeah.
Mhm. Have you covered his death yet? On the docket?
Sorry, who's?
Cassius's?
Oh, Cassius. No, because that's not until Lightbringer.
No,
so
he'll be right at the end of our Lightbringer episodes.
Okay.
Or at the end of our Iron Gold episode.
there was a discussion that
And-
people had of, do we cover Cassius twice? But then I think to do that, we would have had to cover Severo. Well, I guess Severo like instantly comes back. There's no other character that truly is gone. But there was talk about covering Cassius twice.
Mm-hmm.
And I forget, is it Clover? I forget who is our Cassius guest. But it'll be interesting. That'll be one of our longer ones. And notoriously, we have 3 episodes called the Cast Bash, where it was when we were covering Red Rising, and we had Hydro, who loves Cassius, versus Dram, who hates Cassius, go head to head. And then we did the end of Iron Gold, and then we brought everybody back for Lightbringer so we could all sit here and go, all right, do we all agree now that Cassius is okay? Like,
Yeah.
we're all fine now. Yeah.
Yeah. Such a good example of a tragic character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I genuinely did not like him in the first series until like the flippin' Morning Star, because I was like, you're just such a dude, bro. Like, this is not Darrow's fault. He did not want to kill your brother. Get over it. You also killed somebody in the passage, but eventually he grew on me. But yeah.
Yeah, I did like Cassius. Did not like Roke from the beginning. Hated Roke. And then, of course, when he, like, waxes poetic before he, I'm just like, dude, just shut up.
Just get it over with.
just do it. Like, nobody
Get
cares.
on with it.
Yeah. I was going to say the Monty Python, like, get on with it. Yeah. Yeah. There's some interesting characters, and the reason I really like how we ended up formatting this of having a different guest every time, and I was trying to calculate, because sometime this month we will hit the 150th episode of Fade to Obsidian.
Oh my God.
Congrats.
Thank you. I haven't calculated what, but this time last year we did the 100th episode. So 52 weeks in a year.
Yeah.
I'm going to guess we're approximately 150. And at this point, we've probably had 75 to 100 different guests, and everyone has a different perspective. Every time, we can have the same conversations over and over, and everyone will give a different point of view. That there's still so many things that come up that we're like, oh, I didn't think about it that way, or I haven't heard that theory, or so it's always really interesting, and why I think we're lucky that we almost stumbled upon this, that it was just, this whole thing was a joke of, let's start a podcast. All right, well, we'll bring on different guests. Who wants to come? And then we just have, I think there's only 2 episodes.
Yeah, psych, that's our whole thing now.
That's our whole thing. There's like 2 episodes, and it's just the 2 of us, and it's special ones like we got Lightbringer before we had advanced reader copies. So there's an episode that we were able to drop on the day of Lightbringer's release.
Nice. That's awesome.
So that it was guys, I think that one was spoiler free, but it was still it's here when you are immediately done. So that was just the 2 of us. And then during that Lightbringer time, we had so many filler episodes because the book was releasing and everyone was so concentrated on that it's like, well, what are we doing? And we don't want to really release new content and get into a new series that we're waiting to talk Lightbringer. So we have one, and we watched an episode of Community. and you can watch it along with us and play the audio, and it's just the
That's
two of us for
awesome.
that. But I think other than that, everyone has at least one
Oh,
of
and
their
our very
guests, if
first
not more.
pilot.
The very first pilot episode was the two of us, but that was just us setting up the podcast because the first true episode was Chester came on and talked to EO with us. Yeah, so it's been a lot of fun, but we just get so many perspectives, and it's so much fun to hear it all. And it's cool.
And the fandom, I mean, I'm relatively new to the fandom, honestly, and even in my short time, it's blown up so much and become so much bigger. And it's this cascade effect. And I think that's because the literature itself is open to interpretation. It's open to speculation. It's not the author telling you, like, this is what this means. This is what to think. You know, people can, there's room for discourse. And I think that's why so much is surrounding the series and so many podcasts are being successful because there is so much to talk about.
Absolutely. Yep. Yeah. And we love all our podcasting brother and sisters. We always think of ourselves as like a giant family. And it's great because none of us ever have felt competitive of like, oh, well, if they're listening to you, they're not. Instead, it's like, no. Yeah. There is more than enough to go around. And, you know, so many topics that people can... and I need to go in and add Sons of Ares to it, but there is a playlist on Spotify that you can listen in order to us, Howler Pod, Word and Whiskey, and Hail Reaper, and it will play it in order, all of us reading through.
That's cool.
And so you will listen to all four of us doing different episode, like a different episode, but on the same topic. And we created that years ago, so before Sons of Ares was on the scene, and they're still working through their first read along that I need to add them in, but it was just fun. And that's, I think it's called Fade to Hail Howler and Words or something. Like I took all of them. It's like Fade to Hail Howler and Whiskey or something, that I took all four of our names and tried to shove them all together into a topic. But it's out there on Spotify and people can listen through because you know, it's just fun and hearing people, what their point of view is. And all of us cover the topics in such different manners that it's a lot of fun. So
everybody's got a slightly different format, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. It's fun. And then when we overlap, sometimes invite each other on each other's. It's funny of like, how do you do this? Oh, you guys have full scripts. Oh, we don't. I have 2 things written down.
What the fuck is that?
You guys plan? You guys do what? And like, or just some of the ways it talks about.
I just showed up.
Yeah. We're like, we did... One of our favorite, we do ridiculous episodes, which there will be a ridiculous episode coming out at the end of Morningstar, because we've been doing filler episodes so that there's a little bit of happiness between the death. But the Patreon is currently deciding which one. I think one of the leading ones was Red Rising characters as dog breeds. And we'll be looking at which characters would be what dog breed was, I think, one of the suggestions. But we did one, and it was a throwaway line that somebody said that Roke would have a podcast. So we did a whole episode of podcasting on the podcasters on podcasting. We brought in High Key Obsessed as well. We called them like our weird cousins, that they are not a Red Rising podcast, but they're around everything. And we just bring them into everything that we're like, you love Red Rising though. But we had them, Hail Reaper, Howler Pod. I'm trying to think, maybe it was just the 4 of us, but we did a whole episode of like which characters would have podcasts. The meta podcast. And which characters would have podcasts. And it's just so much fun. We get to just joke around. We have the best community. We'll say it over and over again. I know you guys, the artists, have an amazing group chat that we're in, just so you guys can ask Chris and questions. But you guys have all of that, and us podcasters are all close and
Yeah, I
friends,
got
which is great.
yoinked into there, and I was like, wow, okay, cool, thank you. Yeah, the violets are pretty tight.
Yeah, which is great. So.
Do you guys have a fan cast for Octavia? Just curious.
Tilda
Ooh.
Swinton.
Yeah, Tilda Swinton also
Ooh,
comes
that's
off.
good. Yeah, I like that. Mine was
Yeah.
Meryl Streep.
Oh, Meryl Streep would be a good one too.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
that's good.
She can do anything.
Oh, she can. She really can do anything.
Yeah.
What was that?
Just watched that again this weekend or this week.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Project Hail Mary.
Project Hail Mary. Yeah. My
We showed
husband
it
and
to
I
our
like
daughter.
to shout words of encouragement at each other, and the other one goes, "You can't just say words of encouragement."
Words of great encouragement.
Yeah, exactly.
That's so funny.
I have like a thing in my here. I have a thing in my phone where if I think of a fan cast, I write it down in my phone, or if I think of a song that like perfectly fits that character.
Nice.
But it doesn't look like I have one for Octavia. I have to think
Yeah.
of one.
Meryl Streep would be a good one. Yeah, Tilda Swinton.
She would be good.
Yeah, that's been mine like basically immediately after I started the first book. I was like, "Oh. Yep.
Yeah.
That's it forever."
She has that intense gaze where it looks like
Yes.
she's like looking right through you. That would be perfect for Octavia.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you for coming on.
Thank
you are
you for
welcome
having
back anytime.
Thank you.
Let us know. Yeah. And
Yeah, I
thank
had a
you so
blast.
much
Thank
for
you.
all the art you add to the fandom. You're
Thank
incredible
you.
for all that, and especially all the ones you made us like redesigned our logo, and you've done that for a few people, and that's just a cool little project. Which is
Yeah,
great.
it helps me practice. I'm just learning, and I'm just like, hey, I'll just practice on these people and give them little gifts.
Yeah. Well, we
Helps
greatly
me out.
appreciate it. So
Yeah.
Extremely thoughtful.
yeah.
Oh, thank you.
All right. Well, thank you everybody else for listening. We'll be back next week with Aja. As we said, we are doing it out of order, but we got Aja, Adrius, and then the Chafe.
The Chaff.
The Chaff. I can't pronounce it every time I say Chafe, and I in my head even process that of don't say the bad word, and then I did because now I've just confused myself on which one is which. So, anyway. Thank you so much for listening, everybody, and see you next week. Bye.
Bye.